Tracking a quiet evening across mid-Missouri, temperatures drop into the mid to upper 60s. For many of us into tomorrow, though, we're going to start to see some increasing clouds, especially throughout the early morning hours. That could lead to a couple sprinkles as you're heading out the door, but I think we're going to quickly clear up into the afternoon. Once that sun comes up, we get pretty hot into the lower 90s for afternoon highs. That humidity, much like today, will be present, but it's not going to be too terribly oppressive. We're likely going to be dealing with a continued northwesterly flow that will at least keep that humidity in check into our Sunday. The northwesterly flow also bringing us that little ripple of low pressure that could bring a few sprinkles, especially to our northwestern counties. Let's think places like Sedalia all the way up through Macon, and you can see how it really starts to kind of fizzle itself out by the time we get to the noon hour. Really going to be fighting quite a bit of dry air and likely not going to be causing too many issues into tomorrow morning, but definitely popping up enough here on Future Track for us to at least mention it into tomorrow morning. We're going to continue this heat streak as we're headed into the middle of the week. Wednesday looks to be the warmest of the 2 days. Tuesday and Wednesday pretty much going to be carbon copies of each other before we begin a pretty significant cool down, as we're likely going to be seeing the remnant rainfall of what will likely be Hurricane Laura, Tropical Storm Laura. The intensity forecast and everything that's going on down to our south is a forecasting nightmare at this point, as the two storms in the Atlantic continue to cause some issues. But eventually they'll be making their way off to the north, bringing us the potential of a little bit of rainfall by the end of the week. There's Marco that lifts off to the north and weakens pretty quickly over Mississippi, at least with this latest run of Future Track. This is the GFS model, a little bit longer range model that we typically look at. And here's Laura. This is going to be lifting its way on off to the north. This kind of becomes the dominant circulation. You can see by Friday morning, we could see some backside rain showers filter in as we start to see another cold front slip through Friday. This will all kind of push off to the east and eventually clear our weather out as we head into the early parts of next weekend. Other than that, dealing with the heat and humidity throughout the middle of the week, things are going to be a little steamy. You could see those nighttime lows begin to creep back up into the 70s. That's really indicative of that humidity beginning to build back in. Thankfully, by the end of the week, that heat gets snuffed out. We're into the low to mid 80s by next Saturday.